So I think it's bigger than everything. I think it is where education will end up. It's where medicine will end up. It's where gaming obviously is. It's where platforms end up. I think everything ends up there. I will send you $10 and you will receive it instantaneously. And you'll never think to ask me, what chain did that go across? What protocol, right? You don't care. So there are certain things that we absolutely don't care where they go. Instant transfer of money, zero care. Certain types of operations just can go to the cheapest thing or the fastest, depending what you're trying to solve. Other things, we need ultimate security. So I think it's going to be, or the flexibility of the smart contract system, or speed of building on the network, or whatever it may be, right? We all have different needs, which is why we use different computers, different software. We have different phones. We do different things. We use different service providers. And I think it's just going to be the same. So interoperability is great. That's the world we know from the internet. People just didn't think of those terms because they came out of Bitcoin, and it was Bitcoin versus XRP, and then Bitcoin versus XRP versus Ethereum, and as it keeps changing. But the interoperable world is where we're going. Everything will be able to move across chains. There is a potential that you'll see a migration to a far superior chain. 8 years' time, something is both more secure and faster. Well, that's going to win a large part of the market. Yep. If it's ultimately decentralized and it's faster, and maybe that's application that happens on Bitcoin. I don't know. And then things will migrate across over time, because then it solves everybody's problem. So I don't think it happens instantaneously. It's not like off, on, off, on. I think it happens gradually, which is really what's happening in the space. Every person in the space was in Bitcoin to begin with, by definition.
Yeah.
And then they start migrating to different things when they're looking for different opportunities.
But what is your favorite play in this space, if you had to pick one, or your top three?
I don't is the answer, for the same reason that you don't.
Yeah.
Is they're all imperfect. Is the world going to be built out? How on Sandbox or Decentraland? I don't think so.
No.
Can they adapt and change and become something different? Maybe. Is that token, the Sandbox has become my second largest holding because it went up 20x in a month. I'm like, really? This is ridiculous. And I strongly believe in the metaverse, but it's not a place. It's a kind of digital state of affairs. So I don't think there's a way to play it as is. I also am thinking through the ownership of digital real estate, not meaning having a metaverse experience, like we've built a Real Vision headquarters in the metaverse in crypto voxels. I'm more thinking about people are buying real estate because it's next to Snoop Dogg in Decentraland or Sandbox. Is that valuable or not? I think there is a near zero probability that we're going to be strolling down the street in the metaverse and, oh my God, Snoop Dogg's next door to Real Vision. Because when you see crypto voxels, you're just given a GPS coordinate essentially and takes you to one place. You teleport. Mm-hmm. So then what's the value of being in a neighborhood? So I worry that we're very early. I will not be holding my investments in this for a long period of time because I don't have faith that these are the right things. I've looked at Engine as well, also interesting. I've looked at, Wilder, not so interested. I've looked at a bunch of these things, and the answer is I really don't know. But one thing we do know, it's most likely that Ethereum is going to be at the center for now.
Awesome.
So Ethereum becomes a decent proxy for the time being. It's not perfect, but that's okay.
But do you see the metaverse eating into the global real estate market? Do you see people saying, oh, I'm going to buy a 10-unit condo block in Miami versus a piece of land beside Snoop Dogg's house in the metaverse? Do you think that 230 trillion or whatever is market cap of real estate could be eaten away by this new world? Looks like you never got that question before.
No, I have. The reason I'm pausing is because I'm actually thinking through all this stuff myself at the moment, and I don't have answers. I think that digital real estate has value, much like you can buy a .com address for a fortune. I think that there is probably, I'm going against what I said before, there is some value in being around other businesses that are similar, that you want to be around. But I don't know why. I think it's the affiliation that we're all in Sandbox. That's our platform, as opposed to I'm next door to Snoop Dogg. So I do think this space becomes extremely valuable, but I don't think it's one place. So I'm going around in circles now talking this. I don't know is the answer. I will. I mean, I own some real estate in the metaverse, and I just have to wait and see.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
So let's switch gears again one more time. When I like to look at total addressable markets for certain places. So I guess you're probably digging into this as well. If I look at the total addressable market, for example, DeFi, it's 400 trillion, 450 trillion, no matter which way you skin it. And DeFi could eat 10% of that. That could be a 45 trillion total addressable market. The total addressable market for the metaverse should theoretically be nowhere as large as the traditional finance market, or do you believe it could?
I think it's larger.
Wow.
I think everything, you need to frame the metaverse differently to get your head around it. How I frame the metaverse is that everything is becoming digitized. The everything becoming digitized is the metaverse. The fact that you and I can do this on Zoom and we're in different countries was not really very easy to do only a few years ago. But this is actually a metaverse experience. We've digitized what used to be done in a studio by using digital. We used to use digital cameras, but we couldn't shuttle the files around because they were huge. Yeah. And now we can do it with streaming. So I don't think of the metaverse as this end state. I think it's every part of our lives, from finance to business models, are all being digitized. And the metaverse is that place where, in the end, I don't need my physical screens in front of me here. I just have one screen, and that I can reposition as my digital space with everything around it. You will be using your phone as your AR. You might use VR. I'm not sure VR is going to catch on as big yet, but AR is coming massively. I mean, Apple are already pinging your room 5 million times a minute to understand the dimensions of everything you move around in. And all of this is going to come into mapping systems where you can just walk around, you can find everything, you can see everything, the mix between digital and physical worlds. So yeah, I think the metaverse is the end state of, not the end place, the end state. So I think it's bigger than everything. I think it is where education will end up. It's where medicine will end up. It's where gaming obviously is. It's where platforms end up. I think all platforms go into metaverse experiences. I don't think we'll have these 2D kind of platform experiences any longer. So I think everything ends up there. As I said, I'm not in that because I believe that and sandbox because I believe in the valuation, or I believe that this is the future. I just wanted my toe in the water to feel it. As you said, I think it's a bubble. Does it go further? Probably. Is Facebook undervalued? Most certainly. So what is Facebook's valuation? Could Facebook 5x from here? Easily. If they execute anything close to what they think they can do. You know, could decentralized be worth $1 trillion? It's a long journey between here and $1 trillion because they need, it's fine to have a very high value placed on the number of users, but you need to see the number of users growing rapidly, ridiculously rapid. We're not, because there's nothing to do in Decentraland because it's a bloody web address. But you can bring people there for concerts. So once the music industry, which they're already doing, you're starting to coalesce people there, then that's different. Maybe you're going to change what we're thinking, that people don't have to be regular active users. They just need to go there for stuff. Now, what I'm seeing and thinking about is, okay, let's build Raoul's office. Maybe there's a platform which is your office, and your office exists in Decentraland because it's infinite, essentially. And we can build all of our own personal spaces there with our Twitter feeds, our video feeds, our this and that, personal, private. It's all secured, it's locked, it's yours. Could there be 1 billion users of an application like that? Sure. And that would be in the metaverse. Could that drive Decentraland's valuation? Possibly. It's really early to try and spot a trend, I think.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70. In the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where do you start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. The fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.